guys, Lori Wise here, pharmacist. Graduated from UT Austin in 1992. I've been practicing since March of 93, so over 20 years. Up until last year, November of 2017, when I quit the job that I had been working. A lot of reasons surrounding that I won't go into, but one of the big reasons has to do with the pharmaceutical industry itself and the corruption and big pharma and the corruption. Okay, so the reason I'm making this video today, which it is my first, so please bear with me, is because my heart has been so grieved over the deaths of the children this year from the flu. The number seems to rise every year. Now they're calculating over 60 deaths from the flu. So I want to talk to you about that. I've had 3 news stories come across my path in the past week. One involved a 6-year-old girl from Corey, North Carolina, that died. Another was a 12-year-old boy from West Palm Beach that died. The other was a 10-year-old girl. It came across YouTube when I was watching some other videos on other things, and it turned out that was a 2016 death. However, it's pretty interesting because it was a needless death. What can I say? Pretty sure it was needless, considering all 3 children were healthy. All right. So, what happened with these children? Well, similar. Each was given a fever-reducing medication, which is what they tell you to do. That's what the medical community tells you to do. You get a fever, you want to bring that fever down with ibuprofen or Tylenol. And then all 3 children, 2 for sure, were put on Tamiflu. The 3rd little boy had a symptom when they found him dead of having taken Tamiflu. Although the news story did not exactly state that he was on Tamiflu, but we'll talk about that also. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about fever and what fever means in your body. Here's the thing. Our bodies were created to heal themselves. It's a true story. Think about it. You get a cut on your finger while you're chopping carrots or whatever in the kitchen. You put a Band-Aid on it, nothing else. In a couple of days, it's healed like magic. Okay, same principle with fever. But what does fever represent in the body? It represents a sign of infection, an invader, and so your body's temperature elevates in order to get rid of the invader. But what do? We medicate. We bring that fever down. We thereby disarm the body's ability to fight off infection. Brilliant. Not only am I a pharmacist, I'm a mother of 2 adult children, ages 19 and 21. I homeschooled them. They also had child care providers during their growing up years. They were basically very healthy children, but, they had their share each year of the flu or whatever. Neither of my children ever once was vaccinated or received the flu mist, and yet they managed to survive. So what did I do? Well, thank God when they were small, I happened to listen to some tapes by a naturopathic doctor who talked about the reason the body runs a fever. So when my children got sick, I didn't medicate them. I didn't give them ibuprofen. I didn't give them Tylenol. I let that fever run because I knew that fever is working to get rid of that infection. You're going to have some instances where fevers spike. My rule of thumb, and my daughter was the one that was notorious for this, would spike a fever over 104. When she did, I would give her half a dose of Tylenol, half a dose of ibuprofen, put her in a tepid, cool bath, bring that fever down, not all the way down, just down far enough. I'm not looking to be at 98.6 because, see, that's where your body's at when things are normal, when everything's good. When things aren't good, that fever's elevated. It's a sign, okay? Your body's telling you something. There's an infection. So I would put her in the tepid bath, bring the fever down to about 102, because here's the thing, for my daughter, when she got over 104, she started seeing stuff on the walls. You know, it's called febrile hallucinations, okay? It can happen. It's scary, but it's not the end of the world. So bring that fever down. My son, on the other hand, never got up to 104, never had hallucinations, you know, but my children to this day, when they get sick, do not take ibuprofen or Tylenol, because they learned, yeah, it's rough, but you let that fever run, and the amount of time that they're actually sick would be 1, maybe 2 days. And then they were on the complete mend. Amazing. Okay, so, but what do we do here in America? And what does, you Google WebMD, what to do with flu symptoms. It gives you a list of 10 things, but 2 out of 10 are, even though it even admits that the elevated fever is your body fighting the flu, then it says to go ahead and medicate. Brilliant. All right, so it also says bring on that antiviral drug, Tamiflu. So let's talk about Tamiflu. Okay, here we've got Tamiflu and a list of common side effects. Common means regular, everyday, usual. Okay, in other words, if you didn't get these side effects, you were odd man out. Lucky, but odd man out. All right, so we give a child Tamiflu, that's already sick as a dog, okay? Vomiting, running a fever, respiratory issues, flu-like symptoms. We all know what they are. And what do we get with Tamiflu? Nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, dizziness, headache. Kind of sounds like the flu. So you got an already sick kid, you've reduced their fever, their body's way of fighting off the flu, and then you bring this guy on board. Okay. In addition to the first 5, common again, is nosebleed, eye redness or discomfort. Okay, nosebleed is not a common symptom of the flu, okay? Just isn't. Eye redness or discomfort, sleep problems, insomnia. Well, most people that had the flu are not going to sleep real well. They're not feeling good. You know the routine. Cough or other respiratory problems. Respiratory problems. That equals, I can't breathe. All right, so, let's finish the last one. And rarely, and I love rarely, but anyway, mood changes, unusual behavior, ran out of room to write, but it's hallucinations, psychiatric instances. So, however, interestingly enough, these mood changes and the psychiatric behaviors are not so rare that Japan in 2007 banned Tamiflu in the use of children, ages 10 to 19. Okay? Read about it yourself. Not America, though. Mm-mm. All right, so let's get back to nosebleed. The little boy that I told you that died, the 12-year-old, when they found him dead, nosebleed. The story didn't indicate whether he was on Tamiflu. However, it did say he was on fever-reducing meds, nosebleed, that he had a nosebleed. So that indicates to me he got Tamiflu too. All right. So, what have we done as a parent? We have a kid with flu-like symptoms. We dose him with ibuprofen, Tylenol, naproxen, and we take away the body's ability to fight. We've disarmed the body totally, can't fight the infection. Now we add Tamiflu. Good old Tamiflu on board. I mean, really, people? Really? You know, respiratory problems. Let's talk about that. You've already got a kid that's having trouble breathing, and then you're going to bring a drug on board that adds respiratory problems? And we wonder why they died? You know, how much do you seriously think their little bodies can take? And now we're up over 62 deaths. It's insanity. It's complete insanity. And the 3 deaths that I read about said, oh, it's because they didn't get their flu vaccine. Well, let's talk about that for a moment. All right, the flu vaccine, Google it for yourself. The maximum amount of efficacy this year is 50%, right? Yeah, all right, so that's not great odds that it's going to protect you from the flu. That's one strain of the virus. Another strain of the virus, it's only 10 to 20% effective. So the medical community says, well, it's better than nothing. Well, you're still going to give them this flu shot, which is max 50% effective. Then when they get the flu-like symptoms, you're going to bring down that fever and you're going to dose them with Tamiflu. Do you know that Tamiflu is even approved in infants? Yeah, we can look for infant deaths too. All right, people, the truth is, it's a terrible drug. But is the pharmaceutical industry going to tell you the truth? No, they're not. Because they have an agenda, and it's money. And that's what they care about. So, my advice as a healthcare professional, when your child starts running that fever and gets the flu-like symptoms, let the fever run. Monitor it. Let it run. Like I said, if it gets high, like over 104, go ahead and give them half a dose for their age and weight of the Tylenol or ibuprofen, whatever you choose. Put them in a tepid bath. They're going to be cool. Are they going to be miserable? Yes. They're going to be hating life. Trust me. Running a fever is not fun, but it's way better than being dead. And the issue is the body is doing battle with the illness. So let the body do what it knows how to do, what it was created to do. Let it run its course. You know, they say Tamiflu shortens the length of the virus. Okay, so like if you had it 7 to 10 days, they don't claim it cures it because they have no studies to prove. Boy, that's the truth. However, it's supposed to shorten the length of the virus. Well, that is if it doesn't kill them first. Okay? Because not only did those 3 children die, they died quickly. Okay? Yeah, I just read about a 3-year-old girl this morning that went to the hospital, came home, was doing better. Of course, another Tamiflu recipient quit breathing overnight. People, please think. Please. If you have any questions, contact me. There is a better way, and it's not what the medical system in this country is telling you. And just as an aside, I'm not discounting doctors and nurses. I know you work hard. I know you pour your heart in your profession. I did too, okay? But I had to face the truth. I was a product of what I was taught in school, and so are you. And they're aligned, the schools are aligned with the pharmaceutical industry. So that's the BS we're taught, but it's not the truth. Take a stand for the sake of yourself, for the sake of your children. Thank you.